Hello, Spirit of the Law. This is TJ. I just had a couple suggestions for the Romans versus Barbarians campaign that I just want to demonstrate. You were having some issues with the population cap and trying to get the population cap to transfer over to another player, like with the Romans resigning or whatever. It can really ruin the game. I just wanted to show you how you could do this with triggers. Instead of changing the population cap, you start off with the population cap going to be at 400. Okay, and what you're essentially going to be doing is limiting, what you could do is limit houses in order to uh, get uh, to change the population cap effectively without uh, needing to change it in triggers, which you can't do. Once you set the population cap at the beginning of the game, you can't change it. All right, so I've set up a player 2 dummy, player 3 dummy with some houses, and I've created 20 houses over here with a unit in this area. All right, so there's 3 triggers that are on right now, 0, 2, and 3. You're using the own objects. You can use the own objects thing. If you own 21 houses, it'll activate trigger 3, it'll activate trigger 2, and it will display instructions. You've made too many houses in this scenario to work. You have 6 seconds to lead the houses to under 21 or you concede the match. Trigger 2 has a timer. You can set this a lot longer. In fact, I probably would, but I'm just going to keep it 5 for testing purposes. And I'll declare victory to player 2. All right, trigger 3 has owned fewer objects than 20 of houses. You activate trigger 2. All right, you have successfully limited the houses to a balanced amount. You're displaying those instructions, and then you activate trigger 0. So that will reset this trigger, which will obviously activate the 2 and 3 if you have more than 21 houses. If you have 21 or more houses. All right, this one's off right now, or this one's on right now, and this is happens if player 3 is defeated. And this is just to show you what would happen if one of the players resigns. All right, you deactivate trigger 0, which would stop the count of 21. Activate trigger 2, this would stop the timer if there was a timer going. All right, you get a little cute little message that tells you that you can have more than 400. Or you can have up to 400 houses now. Or you can have up to 400 population now, and you can build as many houses as you want. And this changes the ownership. All right, and then this is the trigger for that, which I have currently turned off for the first test, and then I'll show you a couple quick tests with and without that on. All right, and this just kills the object so that player 3 resigns. All right, so let's test this out real quick. Show you how this works. All right, I'm going to turn on Aegis so that we can build houses really quickly. All right, this is lying. All right, so you see if you build 21 houses, it'll force a delete. It'll give you a lot more timing than that, though, when you do it. All right, and then I'll show you what happens if you delete one of the houses. As you can see, it doesn't cause your defeat anymore. You've fixed the situation. And then to show you, it will redo it if you then try to trick it and rebuild another house. So it'll always do that. No matter how many times you do this, you'll always have to have less than 20 houses or less. You can set this number to whatever you want, and it will effectively limit your population. You can figure out how much stone you're going to have, and then that'll tell you about how many castles and town centers you can build. You can get a good estimate of how many houses, how many population the Romans can have with defensive buildings. You can, of course, build more castles and build more town centers with the market, but that would really that's really expensive, which might actually be a good thing if you are trying to emulate the expense that the Romans used buying mercenaries and the like. I think that might be a great idea. All right, and then I am going to show you with the trigger so you can see what will happen if a player resigns. And I'm just going to turn this trigger on. It'll kill this guy in 10 seconds. just gonna watch this. You can watch the population here. All right, you inherited all the houses, and of course, means you can build more units now, which, as the Romans, is really the only thing that's going to keep you from losing at that point, is being able to build twice the population. So I hope you found this helpful. I don't know if you said you probably weren't going to revamp the Roman scenario in a while, but this is something you can do with the Romans so that they're not in a hopeless situation if there's some lag. All right, thank you.